Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Ooh. Welcome.
Here we are again.
Another Sunday, another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Angel Rivera alongside Miss Witchy Perfect, who's feeling a little better, I guess, to do the show.
Feeling, a little better. I tried not to get sick, but I felt it come on last Monday, and I actually had to miss a day of work, unfortunately. So, but I don't have any fevers or anything, so knock on wood, it's just all sinus from here. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's when the weather changes, it's, for me at least, kind of tough, which is why I have my prescription strength allergy medication, which keeps me not getting really sick. So
I have nasal spray, but that's about it.
Oh,
Yes, we're ready to rumble. Well, we're ready to.
Max.
I don't know if we're ready to rumble, but we're definitely ready to talk about the Royal Rumble because I have a lot to say about this.
Well, yeah, as everybody knows, the Royal Rumble was last night in front of 70,000+ fans at the I forget what stadium they were in, Indianapolis, but it's 70,000. But on the Indianapolis Colts play, basically, I forget what it's called right now. Doesn't matter much, but it's the biggest crowd for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, it's the NFL stadium. The Colts play the biggest Royal Rumble in history.
I guess. I was watching the one in, I think it was 1990 when Kurt did it, but if you
Oil
all want to
Stadium.
check out, like it's behind the scenes, and Kurt's like, can we start? I love it because it shows just how, like, I'm like, this would be me just to flirt with him. I'd be like, I missed it, do it again.
Yeah, that's
like, are
that
you
was
kidding me?
on
I had my eyes closed.
that was on
Sorry.
the WWE Vault channel, which goes to their vaults. They find old footage that have been seen before and upload it. It's a really good channel. It's like, actually like the old stuff because they found a lot of treasures there, like stuff that's never been seen before on television. Dark matches. There's the Brock Lesnar Mr. Perfect dark match that people never saw before.
I posted that on my X too. If you get a chance to check that out. It's a great match, and of course, it's just Brock paying his dues. That's what you had to do back then, or at least it was to Kurt.
Brock. It was a good match, a good little. It was a dark match, 6-7 minutes. Brock Perfect beat him with his perfect plex, and
That's right.
Brock instantly pops back up though, like motherfucker, like trying. He's selling a little bit, but he like, damn, he popped up quickly from that.
And Kurt goes like this.
Yeah, like, motherfucker. I'm like,
I'm like,
okay.
oh, I'm sure Kurt heard about that later.
I think Brock would become, that was early in 2002, because by the end of 2002, Brock would be WWE champion. I mean, they pushed him pretty quickly once he came up.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I know he beat The Rock for the WWE title pretty quickly, but yeah, Vince strapped the rocket on him and put a belt on him quickly, put the world title on him quickly. But
Yeah,
I digress from that. That's a good channel to check out, WWE Vault, especially into the old stuff. And there's dark matches there never been seen before. So, yeah. So let's get to what we're here for: the Royal Rumble. It was at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis where the Colts play, and there was a 2-hour pre-show which I did not watch, so I don't know what happened then. I don't think there were any matches, so
and
I
I
have to worry
slept
about
through.
it.
I honestly thought it was 8
Yeah.
o'clock when it started, so I slept through the women's Royal Rumble. And I'm kind of glad I did.
So that's what they opened with. So
Yes, they
So
opened with the women's Royal Rumble.
and the opening match was the Women's Royal Rumble, and honestly, it was a cluster. I mean, it was a clusterfuck. I mean, it was like they booked it, and none of these girls really got any of a reaction. I mean, I was gonna write down who came in where, but I forgot to. Wonder if somebody did, because I don't. I hope someone did on the internet, because I forget. Yeah, so number one was I forget, right? See, that's the thing. I thought I remember, but I don't. I
think you should have skipped it. Should have been like me and just skipped it. Of course, in my defense, I was sick and I was trying to, get a handle on the evening, and I fell asleep by accident. Ended up, I wanted to record some stuff, never got to recording. Nope.
Okay, here we go. So at least it's written down here. Io Sky and Liv Morgan were 1 and 2. Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez from NXT was third. I mean, there were no major surprises. The only thing that really came across to me was just how not good this match was. I mean, there was nothing. It was like there were way too many girls in the ring at the same time. It was a complete clusterfuck at certain points. They
Whereas
were
the
like,
men were kind of sporadic and they only had like
eh,
6 or 7 guys in the ring at the same time.
yeah, there was like 10. At one point, I counted almost over 10 girls in the ring at once, and they didn't know what they were doing. A lot. It seemed like it was like half-assed booked. It was like, what are you doing? See, they're just standing around there looking like idiots a lot of time, and it's like
And Nikki Bella was back. I was like, ugh.
it
Save
that
me.
yeah. So that was she was number 30. So apparently they say I thought Charlotte Flair be number 30 because she would come out and she would win easily. She ended up being 27. And I think hold on,
But
let
she
me
still
say
won. And we got that
27.
one
Yeah,
right. We
yeah. She
both
ended up being
predicted that she would win.
she ended up being number 27. I thought she was number 30. So it's like she ended up being 27. She ended up winning the match, of course, because like like I said, I think last week, she's not going to come back just to put over a bunch of random girls. I mean, so if she's going to come back, she's going to win. And so she did win. Ultimately, so Charlotte Flair did win. The runner up was Roxanne Perez of NXT. For some reason, I don't know what they got for this girl. I mean, they think this girl's a star when she comes out, she barely gets a reaction. Nobody cares whether it's a heel or babyface. It's like she's basically a modern wrestler. She's good in the ring, but no character whatsoever. And when she
Can I just
tries,
say, in the older Royal Rumbles, like I'm talking like when it started, 88, 89, 90, 91, you knew who the wrestlers were that were going to be in that ring. Guys, I didn't know half of these people. And it's almost like they ran out of people to stick in that ring all at the same time. So it's like I'm a little lost in like where they got all these women from, because I mean they had to go to NXT because there's not enough women in the WWE to fill a 30 woman ring, battle royal. It's
It's
and
count.
of course there was no women's Royal Rumble back in 89
No.
and that stuff. It was all men's, but at least I knew who was in it, like I knew even the off guys, but there were still at least 30 guys that you could fill a ring with. It seems like
Yeah.
nowadays they don't even have that for the men's or the women's.
So there was 5 girls from NXT. They had a returning Alexa Bliss, which is she's unaffiliated right now. She's not on the show.
Got it
She's been
from a
out for
Hooters.
they, they she's been out for 2 years, so that's why she just came back. Jordan Grace was the girl that was TNA Women's Champion, and she signed with WWE, so she's not on the show yet either, technically. And Nikki Bella she's listed as Hall of Famer, so she is a Hall of Famer, by the way. So
Mm.
so yeah, and Trish Stratus also came back in this match. So there's 1,
I
2,
thought she
3,
was in
4.
AEW.
Trish? No, I mean she's
Oh,
WWE
she
through
was
and
in
through.
WWE. Okay.
Yeah, she started in '99, I think. So as a manager, so
Yeah, but she's older now, right? She's like in her 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So apparently they're kind of teasing a feud between her and Nia Jax heading into WrestleMania because she blames Nia Jax for getting eliminated. So
No, I
so
think that honestly, Mackenzie, I think that Charlotte's gonna need she's gonna go after Tiffy. Tiffy Stratton doesn't make any sense as women's champion. Okay. Nia Jax, at least she was a refrigerator. She looked the part. Okay. But I mean, I just don't see Tiffy
all right.
keeping that, that title very long.
Let's see. I'm sorry, I've been neglecting the chat. How you doing, Mackenzie? Bad cookies, Angel Rivera for Crystal Ball's next husband. Good to see you too. Thank you. Uh,
Okay, if you go after the Cougars.
mhm. Hooters. Jay Hendry says, hopefully Grace goes straight to the main
Oh
roster.
no,
Jordan.
not Joe Hendry. Oh my god, I didn't even know who
We'll
that
get
dude
to Joe
was.
Hendry at the end here, but we're discussing the first opening match here. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't, make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Very important. Helps with the algorithm and stuff. We've been knocked down lately. Um, so yeah, I wasn't really impressed with this match. It was a clusterfuck. There's way too many women in the ring at the same time. Half of them didn't know what they were doing. It seemed like there was a lot of mistakes too throughout this match. So it was like, it was like, why do you have
Yeah.
these match? It's every year. I've never been like, oh, I like this women's Royal Rumble match. Never. I mean, it's just always been like there. It's there because of politics.
It would be
Because
different. Yeah, I mean, it would be different if, like, back when they had, even when they started the Royal Rumble in '88, you knew everybody who was there. So if you could find if you could find 6 women, if you could find 30 women back then, I mean, there was Sherry, Elizabeth, Judy Martin, Rockin' Robin. I mean, you only have 4 there. So, I mean, I can see why they didn't do it back then. Because there wasn't 30 women. They'd have to get women off the streets to do this stuff. But eventually when you got like Trish Stratus, and then you had Sable, and of course Sable didn't want to do anything, but Sunny and Luna Vachon eventually would come into it. China.
mm-hmm.
And she was always a favorite. She would always be a favorite to win, kind of like Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley would always be favorites to win, even though they were the champions, at the time. So
yeah, the women's Royal.
I don't know. I just feel like this was all kind of just pushed together. They're trying to find 30 ladies to come out and do this stuff. I slept through it. It's a good thing.
I'm re-looking at the list here. It came across none of these girls had a shot. Because the only one maybe is Bianca Belair or Alexa Bliss just came back, so she wasn't gonna win it. Even though Charlotte just came back too. I know, I know, but I'm just saying. Jordan Grace just debuted in WWE, so she's not gonna win it. So I knew from the beginning would be Charlotte Flair. I mean, she's gonna beat Tiffany Stratton for that women's belt. I mean, it's super obvious they're gonna do WrestleMania. It's like,
Charlotte Flair is over and she's also established. Whereas the other one, Alexa Bliss, I don't think she's really a star or established. And was Becky
no,
Lynch in there? Did
no,
she even
she
come
didn't come
back?
back.
Yeah. See,
There wasn't
the
enough
people
star
that
power
are
to make
well
it
known,
interesting.
yeah, there wasn't enough star power to make that interesting. But I would say that for the men's Royal Rumble
Yeah, there
too.
was.
Because they literally just, oh, hey, just go out there. Who are you? Why are you
Jay
wrestling? You
Hendricks.
know?
I lost a bet. I had to change my name to this. Okay, sorry about that.
You had to, because Jay
Joe
Hendry was in
Hendry,
the Royal
yeah.
Rumble.
So let's see. So that was women's Royal Rumble match. I was not really that impressed. Tell me if you guys disagree. Just put it in the chat. We'll debate it. But yeah, I wasn't impressed. You know, it was the usual. I knew Charlotte would win because she's of course going to become champion again, and we already saw. Even though I saw because this is before Witchy started watching, but Charlotte and Rhea had great matches 3 or 4 years ago at WrestleMania. So they feuded already. So I don't see them going back to that again. So that's why I think she's going after Tiffany Stratton. And if she does, then she's
Yeah.
going to beat Tiffany Stratton. I mean, Tiffany is not. I mean, she might get there. She might be a top girl, but right now it's like they put a belt on her just to say, "Hey, she has a belt. Who's going to beat her for it now?" You know, so it's not. She doesn't come across as a champion. She comes across as more as like a pretty Barbie girl, and just handed a belt to just to see what happens. You know, so it didn't. You know, she doesn't come across as a champion. Meanwhile, for better or worse, Charlotte comes across as a champion. You know, I mean, she carries herself as a star. She is a star. You know, so a long term.
And I hate to say it because, I mean, I don't like her dad. I hated her
Mm-hmm.
dad. But, I mean, she's like her dad in many ways. She's that arrogant, pompous heel that literally is a jack shit heel,
Yeah,
a little,
exactly what she is.
don't
Yeah,
hurt me.
she's her
Um,
father.
she's just like her dad in that aspect. And I saw later on X, I saw a woman that had a shirt on that said anybody but Charlotte Flair. I went, oh boy, is she really disappointed. Oh, damn. I saw that. I was like,
Too
ooh,
predictable
boy.
as far as the women's rumble. Yeah, it was. I thought we predicted it last week
Yeah.
she would win, and she won. So, and it was almost no doubt in my mind that any other girl would win. So yeah, that was women's Royal Rumble. It was there. No, whatever. All right, so let's move on. The next
Mhm.
match was the 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team title. We have DIY Gargano and Champa defeating the Motor City Machine Guns, Shelly and Chris Sabin by pinfall 2-1.
Easy for you
I
to
butchered
say.
that. I don't know. I mean, they're the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, but I didn't come out properly. So yeah, that match didn't pay attention much to it. Honestly, I was doing dishes and you know.
I was probably still sleeping halfway through it, and then when I woke up and realized, oh no, the Royal Rumble's on. I literally went back into the women's to see who won. I only watched like the last, like when Charlotte would, tumbled over
Mhm.
everybody else, and I was like, okay. And then the match was over, and I was like, okay, good, let's go on to something
Yeah.
else because I don't want to
So
watch this.
the tag team title match, I did see some of it. It was what it was. I mean, this is 4 guys that wrestle that indie style, pretty much. You know, they do move, 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 move. They move a million miles an hour. It wasn't really a match. It was more like an exhibition. You know, a pro wrestling match, more like moves, which again the fans somewhat like, but it's fun. It's fine if it
Mhm.
opens the show. You know, it's like, okay, you open the show hot, good, blah blah blah. Okay, but the finish was no, what's the tag team name? The 2 black guys. They've been out for a while. No,
DYI
who interfered
or
at the end of
or
the match? The Street
oh,
Profits.
I
The
have
Street
no
Profits came
idea.
out and They beat
Okay,
up
Street
on the Motor City
Profits.
Machine Guns. The tag team champions retained, and they beat up the tag team champions, and they're going for the tag team titles now. So okay, so those my thoughts are it was just there. It was just surprised the tag team titles were defended on pay per view. It's been nearly a year since the last time it happened. So, or yeah,
Yeah.
I think last WrestleMania last year's the last time they were defended on pay per view. So Mackenzie says Triple H doesn't know how to book Charlotte character. It always got to be for a championship. She needs to create a female faction stable like Triple H did with Evolution. Do something different. Well, that's not a bad idea actually. To for her to be the veteran and to her to take 2 or 3 girls under her wing like Triple H did with Evolution. But I don't know whether she had any desire to put any other girl over. I mean, she's more like she's always been a single.
She's more like
Yeah.
her dad. Her dad didn't like to put a lot of
Like the
people
Four
over.
Horsemen, yeah. I mean, he had a stable, but ultimately, how many of those? Uh, besides Rick, who became world champion out of the Four Horsemen? Sting was Sting in the Four Horsemen. I think he was briefly.
No, I don't remember. I don't
I
think
know I
so.
do remember Sting. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm swearing that Sting was in the Four Horsemen briefly. So maybe I'm wrong, but I have to go back and look at WCW history. But how many world champions came out of the Horsemen
And
other than Rick? None.
other than Rick, and none that I
Yeah,
can
so
think
yeah,
of.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So, meanwhile, with Evolution, both Randy Orton and Batista became world champions. So Triple H at least managed to elevate 2 guys there. Whether you like Batista or not, I mean, he was over at one point 20 years ago. So, all right,
So
go
I
ahead.
think I give Triple H a chance. I mean, this is remember when Charlotte was still in it, Vince was in it. So it's Vince who really didn't know how. I mean, he kind of just said, "Well, just act like your dad. Just be like your dad," you know. And here again, she was
Mhm.
like her dad. And if you remember correctly, if it didn't benefit Ric Flair, it didn't
Mhm.
happen. So in a sense, Charlotte's probably still like that, though I hope she's a little bit different than her dad and she likes to help other girls get over.
All right.
I don't know, we'll
Henry,
see.
Motor City Machine Guns are not over in WWE. No, they're not. I like I liked them like 20 years ago and they were in TNA, but today they're like old and it's just feels . Henry also says Barry and Sid became world champions. Barry Windham and Sid. Okay, yeah.
I guess I
Hmm.
wasn't watching WCW when that happened, so um we're not saying that Flair held. I mean, he did hold some
He
people
did.
down. I mean, you can ask. There's interviews with Black Bart about that. There's Ole Anderson, of course. And Ole Anderson was a taste that you needed to, on. He was a taste unto himself. But I mean, there's people out there that literally would bury Ric Flair because they buried him or
Mm-hmm.
them back in the day. So, and he owes everybody money because now he's getting divorced from what, the fifth
He
wife?
paying alimony to multiple wives. I don't know how many exactly, but
Yeah. So I mean, there are reasons why people do shoots on Ric Flair, and that's mostly because he's just not a nice person
right.
outside the ring, and it didn't benefit
Mm-hmm.
anybody for him to hold them down
Women's
either.
wrestling is like seeing a train wreck. It's cool to watch, but then you feel sad and disappointed at the end. That's a way to put it with women's wrestling.
I mean, that's the only way I guess you could put it. But I'm like I said, I'm glad I missed the first two things because the rest of it was great and good. Though I'm a little
It was
confused
great.
about the men's Royal
It was
Rumble.
the next match was the ladder match for the WWE title, which was great. It's the best match of the night. And then the
Right.
next one was good, the main event,
Cody.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's this whole conversation that needs to be had and but yeah, let's start with Cody Rhodes defeating Kevin Owens to retain his WWE championship. Now, this to me was the best match of the night. Hmm.
Wow. He like literally
Mm-hmm.
Alabama slammed him through that ladder. I went, ooh, that's
Yeah,
not
first,
good. But Kevin Owens sold it, man. He just totally sold it. He's like, he's not moving. He's just laying there. And I'm like, is he dead?
no, Kevin Owens is a talent. I mean, I mean, he's underrated. I mean, he can he if you wrestle him, he's going to make you like $1 million. And he done it with nearly every guy he's wrestled. So he's a talent. I mean, he hasn't been world champion in like 7 years in WWE. I mean, he won when he first debuted. They put the Universal title on him, which was that stupid belt Vince created, and eventually Triple H got rid of. But yeah, he was champion for like 3 months, and then of course Goldberg came around and beat him for it. That's the only time he's world champion. But getting to the match itself, I mean, I remember, I think we were DMing each other, and you said, or either you said it or I said it, like, hopefully there's no tables here. And there wasn't, to their credit. I mean, they didn't,
No, because the fans are screaming
yeah,
tables. We want tables. I'm like, no, no, I
they
don't
didn't
want
pull out.
tables. Jesus Christ, it's bad enough
They
there's
didn't pull
ladders in
out
here.
chairs or tables. I mean, it was just ladders that they used, which was a breath of fresh air because usually these ladder matches devolve into like putting up furniture and then waiting and the other guy selling while they're putting up furniture, and it gets boring, and then they put each other through tables and through furniture. It was like, no, this match didn't do that, to their credit. I mean, they did it without the furniture for the most part, unless you count the ladders as the furniture. But it's a ladder match, so it's supposed to have that there at least. So it's a great ladder match, I thought.
It was good. I was kind of shocked that that's how it ended. Though that's how I wanted it to end with
Hmm.
Cody winning. I just didn't think it was going to be like that. I mean, boom, and it even crushed like the ladder and stuff and everything. And I mean, he really
Yeah,
sold that. I thought he was dead.
no, it was great. It was a
um,
great sell
and
job.
then I was kind of like, Cody, I think you better go check on
Hmm.
him. Go check on him. And he's just standing there with the belts over top of him. I'm like, okay, but see if he's okay. Seriously, see if he's
And
okay.
then they
I mean, I expect well, and I was telling you through DMs,
no
sorry to
no.
interrupt, but I was telling you, I was like, Randy Orton maybe
Yeah,
coming out to get even with Owens, and
no
no
Randy
Randy
Orton.
Orton.
I was like, oh wow.
So
Yeah,
disappointed.
I mean, at the same time, it would have given Kevin Owens an out of why he lost to Randy Orton. I mean, lost to Cody Rhodes because he lost to him clean right now. There was no interference. It was just him getting beat up
Right.
through a ladder, and then that was it. So even though Sami Zayn did show up towards the end of the match, and there was a they teased that
Yeah.
Sami Zayn maybe could help Kevin Owens become champion because to get his title match at WrestleMania, but he didn't interfere, which kind of surprised me. I assumed that something would happen there, but it didn't. So again, I'm not.
Because he's
Yeah,
friends, Sami Zayn
yeah,
is friends with
yeah.
both,
So
right?
that's why Kevin Owens kind of
Yeah.
teased, asked him for his help. I know you'll be there for me when I need you, my friend. And that was left at that.
Well, he was
Yeah,
there, but he did not
yeah,
interfere, and I think that's what the fans wanted. The fans wanted him to not
yeah.
interfere, not and make it a cheap way out, for Owens. And Sammy kept
Hmm.
his word that he literally he was there for both. He's like, I'm friends with him and I'm friends with Cody, and yeah, it really worked out in the end because I mean, Sami Zayn's like this, over
Hmm.
Owens when he went through the ladder and like, oh my god, don't be gentle with him because they were trying to move him and stuff. And of course, Owens was bleeding. He
Hmm.
had bladed earlier in the night, and well, like I said, the right man won. Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes, baby. American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He won. But kudos to Kevin Owens for really selling that Alabama slam right
It
through
was
the ladder.
fantastic.
Um,
Oh, I was
yeah.
like, uh,
I honestly thought he was. I was like, oh my God, is he
that's
dead?
why.
I'm like, damn, he's playing dead for a long time. But let's put this to bed that,
Yeah,
um Kevin Owens is the champion and he was screwed out of it because of the referee. Referee didn't screw him out of anything. He
yeah.
did this. So
It was done.
when we all thought that we were going to see Cody in that pile driver that where the legs are up
The
in the,
package
here
power
and
driver.
he's
Yeah,
like in a
he get
yeah. Is that
yeah.
what that's called? Package pile driver. And he reversed it and then
Hmm.
whoom.
Yeah, so that was eventually the Alabama Slam through the ladder. Kevin Owens sold like death, and Cody grabbed the belts, and it was kind of slow. He's just taking his time. Oh, I got the other belt. Okay.
Yeah, did you see that? I was just like, "Will you
Yeah, it's
grab the
like
damn belts
he
already?
was waiting for
What are
like
you
he's just
doing?"
like, oh, I'm just getting my pans to make dinner, and we put that there, and get my. That's what it came across as.
And Brandy's looking at her watch, going, "You
It's
better
like,
hurry up, motherfucker."
and then Sammy kept looking at him like, what the hell is he doing? Why is he taking so long?
Yeah, like,
He looked at
why is he
Kevin. He
taking so
looked at
long,
him.
and why isn't he coming over here to check on Owens? Because remember, guys, I mean, these guys were friends. Are they going to be friends?
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I
know. I
think
mean, does the storyline call for it now that now that he won clean, and
I
now
think
it's okay,
I
fine, I'll
think
be your
Kevin's
friend
gonna
again.
go away for a month because the injuries he suffered during this match it kind of demands some time off. You don't see him for a while, so he'll probably be back around WrestleMania. He'll have a match at WrestleMania. I'm not saying he won't, but because
Maybe against Sami
yeah,
Zayn for not
or maybe
interfering.
they'll take care of that Randy Orton thing once and for all because Randy's scheduled to be back soon. I'm sure it's WrestleMania season. So, but yeah, I mean,
So I give this. Well, let me start again. So we give the women's Royal Rumble 1 star because it was
no,
a
that was not good.
clusterfuck, and nobody understood anything other than Charlotte Flair won. The right person won. Okay. The other match, I didn't fucking watch it, and I didn't have any desire whatsoever to do so. So no stars, because I would give it -1 if I had to, because it just no one gave a fuck about that match, and rightfully so. So the third match, I give it 3.5 stars, and I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm biased because of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens was a hot feud. It was a hot feud between two people, and they had been teasing for a while Kevin Owens turning on Cody Rhodes. And what happened? The fans caught it, so they had the fans film it at the end of, what was that, SummerSlam?
It
No,
was one of the
Clash at the
pay-per-views a few
Castle.
months ago.
Yeah, it was one of the pay-per-views where the fans
Filmed
filmed
the heel
filmed it.
turn.
Now remember, back in the day, you couldn't take a big ass camera into a house show. You actually had to physically
Yeah.
be there, right? So kudos to the people who were able to sneak in cameras.
The WWE, they're using social media. If the modern WWE, let's say under Triple H, they're using social
Yes.
media and the fans
And now they're starting to
to
use the
film
fans.
stuff for
Hey,
us.
did you see that? The fans filmed it. Oh, because it makes it
Yeah,
more real when
it's
the
more. If
fans
it
do it,
comes across as more organic,
So
because hey, the-
so that's when they started to
yeah,
get
it
really
comes across.
hot, that
Yeah, it comes across as more organic. Like, hey, there's no WWE staff or cameraman here or producers. It's just two men having an argument and they fight, and fans are there to film it, and they show it all over social media. They put WWE shares the video, and it just goes like a
right.
wildfire.
And they didn't copyright it like AEW likes to copyright things. I don't know why. They should get their shit out there so more people could see it, but it's
Yeah,
such
that.
bad
Mm-hmm.
bullshit indie wrestling. But I mean, that was when it started getting really
Yeah.
hot. Oh, now they're using the fans. Oh, it might be real. That kind of thing. And then it got even more real when he attacked him.
Yeah. Hey
And then
Macy. Hey
after,
Macy.
hey Macy.
Go ahead.
So
Finish up.
after he
Yeah.
attacked him on the it was after this last pay-per-view, Survivor Series, I think, or War
Yeah.
Games
Last
or
one,
something.
Survivor Series.
But afterwards, he gave him that pile driver and laid him out. And what you didn't see is what the fans filmed. Cody being toted away on a gurney, and then Triple H getting up in Kevin
Yeah.
Owens's face.
Mhm.
So again, it feels real because the fans are also getting into it, and these storylines, they're blurring that line between reality and
Yeah.
wrestling,
And
and that's
it's
good.
good.
That's
Yeah.
how WWE gets hot.
So yeah, that's the ladder match. And then the main event, which was the men's 30-man Royal Rumble, men's 30-man Royal Rumble, the 30-man Royal Rumble match for the title shot at WrestleMania 41. So it went an hour and 20 minutes. I knew it went long. It felt like it went long by a lot. It's
Yeah, I mean, by the end of it, hey Dave, uh, big
hey
brother,
D, hey,
uh,
hey.
um, to be honest, yeah, I know, because like the people who I wanted to, like, oh, once like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and all them were in the ring, it's kind of like, what the hell? Who else is gonna come out? You know, I didn't even know who else could come out at that point, and that's when I was like, Joe Hendry, what the fuck? But like, did you see that one Takahashi or whatever the heck his name is? He gets flummoxed by one of the wrestlers who got pissed because he totally got
Mhm.
flummoxed by that guy. And well, we need someone. Hey, you go out. Some YouTuber.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't even know the fucking who it
yeah.
was.
Okay,
I was like,
that
who the fuck
was
is
yeah. So the
that?
match started at
That would have never happened back in
no,
88,
no.
89, and
That would
90.
have so the match started with Rey Mysterio and Penta going 1 and 2. And I it started off, it was fine, and then all of a sudden I see, and I asked you, you didn't see it. I asked you like, did Penta's feet hit the ground and he just pulled it up
A
and
lot
the
of people
referee
think
ignored
so,
it?
but I think they were trying to
Yeah,
cover it
that's what
up.
I'm thinking. And then they never replayed that spot. So it tells me that yes, both of his feet did land, but he pulled up and the referees ignored it. They just and
Thank you,
just to hope
Macy.
that nobody noticed. And unfortunately I noticed and it was like both of his feet hit the ground. And I like, did you notice that? It's like, no, I mean she missed it. It's like, damn. And
I was
and then
watching
I
something
saw on
else.
social media like people were pointing out, yeah, both of his feet like hit the ground. So it's like, and I did. That's why I didn't ever replayed it.
Well, this is not like Vince. So Vince would be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
he's out. Bye. See you, Penta. You fucked
Uh-huh.
up." But Triple H is kind of like,
No,
"Oh
that's not what
no,
we had planned.
let's put seeds of
Just
doubts in
ignore it
people." You
and
know.
not even don't mention this shit. And he didn't. And
No, you're
hmm,
right though that they are literally trying to push
yeah.
Penta. They're gonna give Penta a push like nothing you've ever
Oh,
seen.
Macy found your channel. Thanks for subscribing to Witchy. Hey, hey. Bad cookies. I don't know why I said that. All right, well, let's get back to the match. Uh, then Chad Gable was third, blah, blah, blah. Carmelo Hayes was fourth. Santos Escobar was fifth. I mean, they put in a bunch
I
of
did. Yeah, I'm
luchador.
like, who are the hell? Because I DM'd you. I'm like, who the fuck are these people? I have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, they're featured on SmackDown and Raw.
Like I said, back in 88, 89, I knew who they were. Even if they were just job guys, at least I knew who they were. But this is just when you literally have a guy, and Shaky Nakamura
Yeah.
was in it too. I was like, oh my
Shit.
God, you got to be fucking kidding me.
So number 6 is Otis. Number 7
uh,
was Braun Breaker, where he showed up and
Braun! I know. I was like,
and then
Braun's in. I know he's not going to win, but oh well. I can still cheer for him.
eventually that's when
And he was
yeah.
spearing everybody. Spear, spear, spear.
Then eventually
Like, save some spears for later.
we got Akira Tozawa, which is a Japanese guy who got beat up, and Triple H was there,
Yeah,
and
that guy.
and he's
Yeah,
like,
that
oh, he's
dude.
not able to go. Look at him, and then he's looking around for number 8, and he found I Show Speed, the YouTuber who was back there. Is like, yo, you Speed, you're in number 8 now. Let's go. It's like, well, I'm not ready.
I'm like, who the fuck is
It's like, yo,
Speed,
Speed,
yo?
get out there.
Who is this
And then he's
bitch?
like, "Oh, okay." And then his music played, and fans went nuts for him. He got to the ring.
Some kind
Yeah,
of YouTuber. That's what someone told me. I think you were telling me he's just some YouTuber. I'm like, why are YouTubers trying to be professional wrestlers? No, this is not how it works. You don't just go on YouTube. Like, I can't just go on YouTube today and then tomorrow be a woman's wrestler in the women's Royal Rumble. I probably could because they probably just pick any chick and with big titties
uh-huh.
and they just pick anybody. But for fuck's sake,
So
people, you just like Logan Paul. I hate that fucking dude because all he does is run his mouth about politics and bullshit on oh, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. No, fucker, you ain't no professional wrestler. Get back to YouTube. Nobody cares about you.
then I Showed Speed eventually helped eliminate Otis with Braun Breaker, who Otis was the big fat guy,
And then Braun Breaker
and
speared
Braun
him.
Breaker like sarcastic, like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up, man? We're cool, right? Yeah." And then he He celebrated.
Yeah,
He did
spear.
his moonsaults, and then Braun did his running spear, and it looked like he stiffed the hell out of him. He stiffed the hell out of him in that spear.
I mean, literally,
It's like,
yeah. I mean, because sorry. Braun's the same way. Braun is second generation. So of course the second generation guys see all these people who are non-wrestlers coming into the wrestling business, kind of like how there are a lot of football players like Goldberg coming into the wrestling business who literally just like, well, I can't play football anymore. I guess I'll just
yeah.
be a wrestler. Oh, go fuck yourself. No, that's not how it goes. You go to wrestling school. You don't just pop up one day on YouTube and then go, oh yeah, I'm going to be a professional wrestler and then get in some tights and go in the ring. That's not how it works.
Yeah, so
that's not how it used to work. I mean, you had to go to wrestling school for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, he stiffed the hell out of him. It looked like it at least, and he's like, he kind of did this to him.
Rightfully
He
so.
shook him a little bit.
Go
Like, you okay,
Braun.
man? Like, okay, good enough. He tossed him. He tossed him onto Otis, and Otis was like, he just tossed him like a piece of trash behind him.
He just like did a fallaway slam like
And
Scott
then-
Hall. I was expected to see Scott Hall come in
And
on the
then
crowd. Yeah,
Braun Breaker said, "Oh, welcome to the WWE." You know, just walked away like, like welcome to the WWE.
That's what I said too. I was like, what the fuck is this though? I mean, you got Logan Paul and then you got this speed guy. Literally, yeah, I know. Wrestling school. What's wrestling school? Like, there is no wrestling school anymore. Now, if you just yap your mouth about wrestling, you literally are qualified to be a wrestler now. Oh, so I could go literally and become a woman's wrestler. So you'll see me tomorrow on NXT. Jesus fucking Christ! Come
if
on,
Triple
people.
H asked me to show up to Royal Rumble and take a bump, I'm like, how much money is it? How much money am I making?
Yeah, how much money?
Because I'm not going to take a bump for free. What, just for more subscribers?
No.
Like, oh, you get more subscribers. Show up WWE. Is like, I don't give a shit about that.
The only person I don't think I could take is the refrigerator, but I could take any of those chicks. I could bend them in half. And trust me, guys, I got bigger titties than all those ladies, except for Nia Jax.
If Triple H were to ever ask me here to show up to Royal Rumble and like, oh, you want me to take a spear from Braun Breaker? He's most likely going to stiff me. Oh, how much money is it? What are we talking about here? Like, okay, I mean, I'll take a spear. I mean, and I'll sell like death.
I hope my fiance is not watching, but I would take anything from Braun Breaker. I'm just kidding. I love you, baby. No.
Yeah, I'd take a spear, but it's like, okay, well, the money better be worth my pain.
A little lower, no.
The money better be worth little more in my pain, but yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, that was for no reason.
I don't know, did he?
It's like I Show Speed is his name. I think he's buddies with Logan Paul. That's why.
Oh, it has
So that's
to be,
why they used him.
And I don't like Logan Paul any more than I like, the person who won, who shall be named
we'll get
later.
To that. Then Braun Breaker had a great showing. I thought they used him well in this match.
Oh my God, he was such a beast.
He even got a brutal spear in on Roman Reigns.
Oh my God, Reigns is like, oh wow, why did you do that?
And Roman Reigns also put over Penta and worked with and did offense with him. So it's like the thing with Roman, he's not selfish like a lot of top guys are. It's like, I'm not working with.
But yeah, he had to act that way. So that's why a lot of people think, oh, Roman Reigns is just a selfish dude. And when they turned him babyface the first time, it didn't work because literally everyone thought he was selfish.
But that was Vince. That was Vince
life.
Who was making it. That's putting the rocket to him is like, make him champion. Put him and Brock Lesnar in the main event every year at WrestleMania. And I was like, that was Vince. That wasn't his fault. I mean, he's just doing his job. He's doing what he's told. But yeah, I thought Penta had a good showing too. Hell, I think he lasted longer than anybody else in the match. Hold on.
Yeah, he was like 42
he was
minutes?
longer than anybody in the match. 42 minutes and 5 seconds is listed here. Which is even what's funny is my mother was noticed Penta throughout the match. Like, he's not doing anything. He's just laying there.
Yeah, he would just lay there. There would just be people laying on the apron like this, and I'm like, "Are they dead? Are they still in the match? What's going on here?"
Like even my mother, who likes Penta, she likes the lucha libre stuff, but it's like he's not doing anything. He's just laying there.
I'm not
And
really into
it's like
Penta,
he's just
sorry.
laying there. I was like, I don't know. I mean, shit, I don't know what he's.
They did that throughout the night. There was even Jey Uso was doing that. Even well, CM Punk eventually would do it too. They're literally just laying
Mhm.
there like I'm like, are they dead? Are they alive? Are they still in the ring? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
Did
they
somebody wake
weren't.
him up? You know?
There's not enough eliminations early. Like the ring gets clogged up pretty easily now in WWE during the Royal Rumble matches. It wasn't as
Yeah.
bad with the men as the women, but it got clogged up a couple times there. Jacob Fatu came out at 12. I thought he showed up really well. I mean, they teased him and Braun Breaker again, which the fans went nuts for.
Yeah.
It's like that's a match they're doing in the future. So
Yeah.
Luke with Kaiser lasted all of 6 seconds. He came out, Penta
Yeah.
eliminated him.
It's kind of like what did I say? He
And
was like either Luke or Butch. I couldn't
yeah.
remember who was, but he came in one side and went
Yeah, I
out
think
the
it was
other.
one of the bushwhackers. They
Yeah.
come in, somebody, I forget who grabs him, and it throws him out the other side, and they
Um,
just who was it?
he just
Uh,
kept doing that all
Some
the way back to
wrestler, I
the
forget who
locker
grabs
room.
one of them that throws him over the top. He's like, "Oh, okay, let me go
I'm trying to think
backstage."
too. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, one
1991
of the
when that
Royal Rumbles, they
happened,
did that.
but I can't remember.
It was a hilarious spot, like, "Oh, okay, boop, boop, okay."
Yeah, that's what Piper said. He went in the one side of the ring, went out the other, just
Yeah, it
kept
was
on
like,
going.
"Hey, my check cleared, right? Great, okay, I'll do whatever you want, Vince."
Okay, great. I'll do this.
Remember
6 seconds.
they were the sheep herders. They were a brutal tag team, dangerous, and they were heels, and they come in with Vince, and
In
they were
Portland.
like
Yep.
silly baby faces. Like, are these the sheep herders?
Yeah, they were
Yeah, they
cartoons
were
of
like
themselves is what
parodies of themselves,
Luke
basically. Yeah,
said
which was
or Butch
yeah, they
said.
were
I can't
like
remember.
parodies or cartoon versions of themselves. You know that they're
Bad cookies. You don't know who the Bushwhackers are? Bad cookies. What's the matter with you?
oh wow.
Watch uh watch 80s wrestling. 1988 and 1989. Well, 1988 is when they came in like towards the end. So 80 or like late 88, early 89.
Mhm.
Watch it.
Yeah, so we got the Miz came out.
I
He last and
don't even know who that
he's
is. I kept going, who is the Miz?
wow. I mean,
I didn't even know who it
he's not
was.
featured as much as he used to be, but he main evented at WrestleMania against John Cena in 27, I think it was.
Okay.
So, and he was a reality show star. He did the reality show The Real World 25 years ago on MTV,
Yeah, I never watched
and
that.
and he basically got famous by doing a bad impression of The Rock. So that's how he got hired. That's he got hired.
Oh, you see, it started with The Miz. So The Miz thought he could wrestle, comes in at, does a bad impression of The Rock, and then all of a
He
sudden
gets
now he's a
hired, and
star.
he's been in WWE over 20 plus years. I mean, he's been there. Ver he's reliable. He does it. He's a good enough wrestler where he can get away with being in the ring, and I mean, he'll do whatever they ask of him, which is why he's been there that long. He doesn't have an ego. No matter how long he's been there, he does what he's told. So he's reliable. That's why he's around still. Number
All
50.
right.
No,
Doesn't mean
no,
he
no,
can
but I'm
wrestle.
just saying, that he's well liked. He's there. Number 15 was Joe Hendry, the TNA World Champion. Fans went nuts for him. As it's like, say his name
Yeah,
and
he just beat
he appears. I'm like,
the.
oh, it's Joe Hendry. Fucking hell. I mean,
Well, he got
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
he
pop
did.
though. I was surprised about that, but that's because he beat some Joe Schmo, and they're talking about it. And I'm like, well, I don't watch TNA anymore because
He
Kurt
beat
Hennig's not on it.
Michael Cole.
So
They were promoting the TNA like, oh, he beat Nick Nemeth, who used to be Dolph Ziggler in WWE, for the world title. And now he's the world champion. Look at the world champion's here. And he lasted all of, what did he last? 3 minutes. I mean, he got a spot with Roman Reigns, and immediately Roman Reigns tossed him out like a jabroni. So it was like, it
toss him
was
out.
like, oh, this is your world champion. Boom, like gone. Yeah,
Bye bye.
like heel Roman Reigns was back for a second there. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand this Royal Rumble because again, And then, like with the whole Shaky Nakamura, I'm like, can we get some real stars here? What the fuck? Did you just wait till everybody was in and then you're like, oh, by the way, CM Punk and then Drew McIntyre and, I'm like, come on,
So-
guys. Stop giving these little breadcrumbs.
So I thought Braun Breaker had a great showing. Like we said last week, he needed to have a good
did.
showing. I knew he wasn't going to win because
No,
but
we knew
he needed
win.
to have a great showing. 22 minutes. He was over. He was dominant. He
That's about what the time was for Kurt. I think he was in for like 20 minutes and 89.
So he got to see speared that fucking YouTuber I Show Speed hard, which I liked. Is like, ooh, I hope you're okay, man. I mean, it's like that looked like it hurt. Oh, you're not okay? Here's this world's smallest violin for you. You agreed to be in the ring, so that's what you get. And even
welcome to wrestling. It's not so easy as it looks on YouTube, does it, dumbass?
So Jacob Fatu went 24 minutes. He had a great showing too. I like that.
Yeah, he did. He was a beast in there too. And Braun Strowman came back.
They did their deal.
And he's walking down the ring. I'm like, I thought that dude was
I'm
dead.
surprised they brought him back that early. I knew that he would be back eventually, continue his feud with Jacob Fatu, but this happened like last week. They had their match last Saturday, right? He came back way too quickly.
Last Saturday. Saturday's night's main event. And because he was, bleeding from the mouth, we all thought, oh, he's gonna be out for a while.
He came back like the next weekend. Nope. Like, oh, okay. Then that's worse because he came back way too early.
Yeah, that's not putting Jacob over because that's like, oh, well, he got 6 of those ass in the face, and guess what? He just came back next week.
That's even worse. But yeah, that happened. Drew McIntyre was 17. 19 was Shinsuke Nakamura. He only lasted 3 minutes, so he's eliminated by the eventual winner, Jey Uso, number 20. Yes, Jey Uso won this Royal Rumble match, as everybody knows. I mean, he's gone on.
And like I said, we're sitting there going, wait, what? Because I was like, it's when Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu went out, we're like, okay, well, that was supposed to happen because Roman Reigns is not supposed to win. He's going to have a feud with like Sikoa or probably with Drew or not Drew. He'll probably have a feud with
that's what
Jacob,
I'm thinking.
right? We're like, oh, okay, those two, hatred for those two, and then CM Punk, pulls him over, and we're like, okay, CM Punk, come on, Punk, and then he gets tossed over by fucking Logan Paul.
Yeah, he was like, Logan Paul. Okay, Punk's not winning then.
And I was like, you motherfucker. Someone who's never been to fucking wrestling school and you throw over Punk, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised CM Punk allowed that to happen unless there's a reason for it and there's a plan down. I'm sure there has to be a plan down the line for him. He's not going to allow himself to get buried. So there has to be a plan for him down the line. But yeah, I thought he would.
I was so glad when they got
so eventually the final two would be John Cena and Jey Uso. Okay, then Cena's gonna win because like there's no way Jey Uso is gonna win this.
Yeah, we literally were going, well, Cena has to win this, but we thought he was gonna win the elimination chamber, right?
What ended up happening because Jey won the fucking
right,
thing.
but we didn't think it was Jey Uso.
Then it was a weird spot where Cena about to hit his finish, and then Jey landed and either pushed him off or Cena slipped off, and it looked kind of funky, that spot. And then he lands, and he has that look on his face, like, did I just lose to Jey Uso? He had that shocked look on his face. Like,
we were
and I had the same look.
I'm like, no.
I had the same look.
No, it can't be. No. I was like, no, Heyman's going to come out and say that he owes CM Punk a thing and he can restart the Royal Rumble or something. Oh, come on. You cannot be. No.
Yeah, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. There's absolutely zero chance in hell that they're going to put him in the ring with Cody Rhodes. I mean, so this is definitely going towards Gunther.
I told my man, I said last night, there's no way he's ready for Cody Rhodes. This has to be another play at Gunther because I mean, there's no way he's ready for Cody Rhodes.
If Triple H puts him in the ring with Cody Rhodes, that tells me that he's lost his mind or it's not his decision. I mean, because there is no way you can put him in the ring with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So I'm thinking they're gonna have the rematch with Gunther, and then John Cena win the Elimination Chamber and qualify to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So you have Cody Rhodes and Cena, and you're gonna have the combination of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, or Roman Reigns, like main eventing one of the nights of WrestleMania.
I think it's just you. I think it's just you, Cookies.
Uh,
Yeah, I this is what I think is going to happen, and I wish CM Punk would win the Elimination Chamber, because I think, he hasn't headlined
he will.
WrestleMania. I think
He
he
will.
deserves it.
No,
I
I
think
don't
he
notice
deserves it.
Witchy having audio delay. I mean, unless it's you, it's your set. I don't know, because to me it looks like she's fine. But yeah, I don't even think Jey Uso is actually going to main event any of the nights of WrestleMania. He's not going to main event any of them.
Yo, AJ Warrior, I hate to break your heart, but Logan Paul is a piece of shit. He's literally someone who woke up one day and go, I can be a professional wrestler, and then fucking doesn't know how to wrestle. Did you look at any of his fucking moves? His moves suck. He sucks. Logan Paul needs to go back to YouTube and stay there.
Yeah,
You're not a wrestler, honey. Just because we're on YouTube does not make you a professional
yeah.
wrestler.
So I was like, there's no way they're even. I don't think Triple H is even going to stick him in a main event. They said main event because they always do, but then at WrestleMania they set up the cards however they want. Like there was one year where I think Edge won the Royal Rumble. Like this is like 10 years ago, and he's supposed to main event WrestleMania. Guess what happened? He opened the show. And the excuse was, well, every match is so good that he opening the show is great too. It's like, that's your excuse? That every match is so good that you couldn't be on top. He wasn't supposed to be on top. It doesn't matter. This main event thing is meaningless. What they'll do is they'll put him in the mid card at night one, and then CM Punk will main event WrestleMania against either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, or do a triple threat or something, and then
Yes, that's because they were fighting
yes,
outside
that's a
that
big
ring. You could
moment.
tell they were all tired because they had just been in the Royal
Yeah,
Rumble, right? I mean, when you literally do that, I mean, it's, I get that why that is that way, but I mean, it just, I was so happy when
yeah, it
Logan
was
Paul got. I'm just like, go back to YouTube,
the
you motherfucker.
the most important moment.
But
The most
anyway,
important moment was
I just wanted to see CM Punk do it.
so yeah, the most important that interaction once they got eliminated of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins was the highlight of that match, because they're setting up something big at WrestleMania between the three. And remember, also Paul Heyman still owes CM Punk a favor from War Games, so
That's
that
right.
favor is going to be
That's
involved
right.
there too, and that's going to be much more important than anything Jey Uso does at WrestleMania. So they're going to give that a lot of time, and it's probably whatever happens in that match is going to be on last on either on night one or even night two even, and they'll stick Cody Rhodes and John
Mhm.
Cena in night one. So there's 2 nights of WrestleMania, so they can play around with this pretty easily. So
So the night 2 is on my
yeah,
birthday of WrestleMania.
so
So, that's gonna be interesting. Are we gonna do a Friday kinda thing and then, like, maybe wait till next week? To the next
yeah,
week
that
after
I was
that?
just thinking. I don't know, because we had there.
Because we can't do
No, we
Saturday
can't,
or
because
Sunday.
we're gonna be on both. WrestleMania is gonna be on both, and eventually all the big pay per views probably be 2 nights. Because next year Royal Rumble's in Saudi Arabia, and I think that's 2 nights. So they're in SummerSlam
Oh my god, they're gonna have Royal Rumble in
in
2
Saudi
nights?
Arabia. Yeah, so that's
Oh
next
my
year's Royal
god.
Rumble is gonna be in Saudi Arabia. So we might be able to do a show anyways, because they'll be over by 4 o'clock, and then we can come on at 7 or 8 like we usually do on Saturday. But and then we have to do it again on Sunday. So
Alright, fair
I don't
enough.
know. I mean, what that down the line, but
Yeah, like, we'll go from, like, 1 night to 2 nights, like
yeah.
them. Ay, ay,
We can't
ay.
agree on that, AJ. Like Jey Uso doesn't deserve to be in WrestleMania. He's garbage. I mean, he's not good in the ring. He's a personality,
No,
but
I mean, the only thing he's good at is, having a rematch with
yeah,
Gunther at
he's a
this point.
personality.
He's
But
not on Cody Rhodes' level. And like I said, at Elimination Chamber, I kind of want to see CM Punk take it. I'm sorry, but I want CM Punk. He's starting to grow on me. I just think this needs to be his year where he needs to main event WrestleMania. Him and Cody Rhodes. I think that would be a great baby face
I would
versus
like
baby
I would like to
face.
see Punk and Cody for
Excuse-
the title, but I think they're gonna go with Cody and Cena. I mean, they're going to go with that babyface match.
I know. That's just not the
Mhm.
baby face I want. But again, I'm not Triple H,
They're
so I
gonna go
can't
with
call it.
babyface, and then have Punk, continue his melodrama with Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Hopefully, it's not a triple threat. It might end up being just a triple threat with all three guys in the ring at the same time. But that'll
Well, and all three guys were literally, exhausted, but still kind of fighting
yeah.
on the
So they're
floor afterwards. So,
Yeah, so they're definitely teasing like something. They're definitely teasing something between the three at WrestleMania. And they're teasing that Paul Heyman thing because CM Punk kind of looked at Paul Heyman as like, basically, you owe me one still. So I'm gonna.
yeah, you still owe me one. Yeah.
So yeah, and then Seth Rollins hit that hit his stomp finish on Roman Reigns not once but twice. The second time was in the steel steps. So at that point.
Well, AJ Warrior, you're going to be very disappointed because I got a Cody Rhodes shirt on, baby. Cody Rhodes. Also growing on
Who
me.
finished?
Like
Who
CM
finished the
Punk.
hot wings? Not me.
I don't know. Not
But
me.
yeah,
I'm still sick. I can't have that.
I mean, why not? I mean, if Jey Uso's going to win this Royal Rumble, it shouldn't have gone on last. It probably should have been on before the world title match, because that way Jey Uso wins and you come up, and then you had the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match, which is fantastic. That finishes the show, and then you can kind of have like Jey Uso backstage at the end teasing, deciding on Cody, and then Gunther shows up behind him is like. And then they have their stare down with Cody in the background with the belts, and that's how you end the show. It'd be a better way to end the show, in my opinion. But
I kind of said to myself, I don't remember the Royal Rumble being the main event, and I went, oh, duh, it always
well,
has been. Even if they had a title match, the title match was not before the Rumble. It
it
was like
happened
right before.
once or twice
So
with a Rumble match. We either open the show before the world title match, but that's rare. The only time that happens is when a non-superstar, let's say, would win. Like one year, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble. It did not main event that year. It did not main event. It was 2006. I think Undertaker main evented that show for the title that night. So it's happened
okay.
before, but it's very rare that a men's Royal Rumble doesn't main event the Royal Rumble. Even though I think this one shouldn't have main evented either, because if Jey Uso is going to win, really, and it didn't get much of a reaction live. I remember I'm watching it. It's like, oh, Jey Uso won, and it didn't really get much of a pop initially until his music started playing, and then that's when the fans went nuts for it because they like,
I think
yeah,
people were
yeah,
shocked. They were like, ultimately,
mhm,
because it's just assumed
yeah.
it was going to be John
Yeah,
Cena.
so when
You
Cena,
know,
they did that weird elimination where either he got pushed off or slipped. I couldn't tell what happened. And Cena was kind of had that shocked look on his face. And there was not much of a reaction initially. And then once the music started playing and, Jey Uso started celebrating, that's when the fans like, oh shit, Jey Uso won. We like this music. Let's yeet. It's like, it just like, oh.
and then the announcers got into the ring, and I'm like, okay, I'm turning it off and turning on older wrestling.
Yeah,
Older
you said I'm
wrestling.
done with this.
So I watched
I'm done
Portland.
with this. So yeah, eventually,
I'm done with this. I'm gonna watch
yeah,
Portland.
eventually Cena got in the ring and kind of hugged him and put him over. Like this he won. Let me just go away here. So here's the thing. Here's the issue that people, at least I had, some people had. It was like, yeah, I mean, if Cena was putting over a Braun Breaker or a Jacob Fatu on the Rumble, younger talent, up and coming, okay, fine. Jey Uso's 40. He's like 10 years younger than
Yeah.
Cena. It's not like he's a 25-year-old kid who's about to be a big star. No, he's 40. He's been there 15 years. So putting him over doesn't really do much for the WWE. It doesn't do much for even Jey Uso because what are you going to do? Put the world title on him? He's going to beat Gunther at WrestleMania? Is that their plan? I hope not.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I'm up for anything because I was
Yeah,
completely shocked. I thought CM Punk
yeah, I
was going
thought
to
so
win.
too. instead of
or Drew McIntyre or anybody else.
yeah,
John Cena.
I saw the comments on the clip that they put up when Jey Uso won. And most of the comments were just basically destroying WWE for this decision. And it was like, let me read you like a few of them. Excuse me. Let me read you a few of them because I was laughing at some of them.
Oh, show 'em.
Oh no, I will.
Show 'em.
I won't. I
That's
can't
fine.
show the actual video, but I can show the comments.
Oh no.
So let me pull it up first, though.
I mean, AJ Warrior, I don't know who exactly you like here, but I don't like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens deserved all that stuff. Again, it's not Cody putting him through hell because he put Cody through hell too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a great match. Kevin Owens, got what he deserved because he was the heel, and
Exactly, and Cody
Yeah.
won clean. Here
So
we go.
it's just some of the comments that people have
That means nothing.
put up. Oops, wait,
Whoa, hello.
what the hell happened to my comment section? Oh, here it is.
Right
It
here.
just popped up a lot of other stuff.
You went too far,
All right, so one guy says when you simulate universe mode for a year, that's in WWE 2K, the video game. So you get Jey Uso winning, but that's not that funny. Cena trying to give mid card Jey Uso the rub reminds me of Rock failing to give Roman the rub. Cena getting eliminated and missing out on possible 17th World Championship kind of gives me the same energy of Shawn getting eliminated and losing his chance to the Undertaker at WrestleMania. That was the rematch I think they had where Undertaker was world champion, but Shawn Michaels lost the Royal Rumble, and then eventually he would screw Undertaker out of the belt at the next pay-per-view in order to set up that match anyway. So that was their rematch, I think. Don't forget Jey Uso had the worst fight of the year at WrestleMania 40. He did have the worst match against his brother.
Yeah, it was
It was
against his
awful.
brother. His
That was
own
god
twin
awful.
brother.
It was just it's like they both decided to spam super kicks like 10 million times. Triple H after drinking a 12 beer. I don't think Triple H drinks, but yeah, I mean, he might. I wouldn't be surprised he was drunk when he did this shit. In a year when CM Punk's fighting for his WrestleMania main event, coming back from injury, John Cena having his last run, Roman wanting his redemption, Drew being pissed at the world, and this is the finish we got.
Well, we did get to see a little bit of Roman Reigns and Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre. That was exciting, we just didn't see enough
Yeah.
of that. I wanted Drew to sort of win, but then I was kind of like, no, I kind of wanted to see CM Punk take
Yeah,
it.
it's tough. It's like
They fucking had AJ Styles. I'm like, dude, where's that
he's
dude
been
been?
hurt. He's back now, but he's another one who's a star, So they had plenty of stars. Like this commenter said, imagine having Punk, Rollins, Reigns, Cena, and AJ in your Rumble, and you giving the win to Jay. It was such a letdown. Like what?
Yeah, and we were all shocked at that point. I can't wait to hear what Jim Cornette was talking about. He was talking about Saturday night's main event, and I said, "Oh, wait till you see the Royal Rumble." I can't wait to hear his review on the Royal Rumble. Phew.
Sean, this count says they weren't lying when they said this Royal Rumble is going to be unpredictable. Jay winning the Rumble was not what anyone expected, and for good reason. I mean, you don't pay these overpriced tickets that they were charging Royal Rumble, and all of a sudden have Jey Uso winning it in the last moment of the show. Which is why I said I think it shouldn't have closed the show. They should right after that tag team title match, you should have done this Royal Rumble and had Jey Uso win and then close with the ladder match, which was excellent. That would have been a better way to close the show.
Logan Paul should not be anywhere near a wrestling ring, dude. He should not be anywhere near a wrestling ring. Logan Paul cannot wrestle, period. He thinks he can wrestle, but trust me, if he was in a match with Kurt Hennig, trust me, he would get his ass kicked and handed to him. Literally. And Kurt would be stiff with him.
Yes,
and rightfully so. Logan Paul cannot wrestle. He should not be near a wrestling ring. He should stay in YouTube where he's literally known for. He's not known for wrestling. AJ
Styles is still alive. So.
I don't care about his brother. I don't give a shit about his brother. And a lot of people think that Mike Tyson took a dive. Fuck, I
I
could do
watched
that. It depends on if the
I
money is
watched
right.
that fight and I didn't think he did, but a lot of people say he did because of that one moment where basically they had some sort of conversation while they were in the clinch, and I'm like, oh, they did talk about something was said. I don't know what it was, but let's see. Remember, some MFers paid 30K for Mania tickets to get Jey Uso versus Gunther. Yeah, WrestleMania tickets are very Super Bowl, like very expensive Super Bowl style tickets, and I, I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get fucking Jey Uso versus Gunther. By the way, I did that match last Saturday, literally just last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday on not free
It's on
TV. Well, yeah,
NBC.
it was on
Yeah,
free TV, but it was
yeah, it's
also
on
on
free TV.
Peacock
Yeah,
too.
technically.
It wasn't even
No,
a pay
they
per view
did this
kind of
match
thing, you
last
know.
week, and let's say if Triple H had this plan for like 6 weeks, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have Jey Uso win the Rumble, and he's gonna face Gunther. If I see that match, I might be pulling Jey Uso winning this Rumble. It's like, oh shit, this is gonna be the shits. And to be fair, Gunther pulled out the best match he possibly could have out of Jey Uso. I mean, no, I don't see how anybody else pull a better match out of him. Uh, really cringy Uso?
I can't believe you guys did this to CM Punk
Yeah,
again.
somebody.
I mean, and I feel bad for CM Punk. He
Mm,
deserves to at least, one WrestleMania. Now, whatever happened in the past was the past. Is he, literally paying for that? Paying for the past? That's not fair,
I
Triple
don't
H. You
think so.
know that.
I think he's still going to main event a WrestleMania. He's going to main event this year, one of the nights. It won't be for a world title probably, but he'll be on top and he'll, get his WrestleMania main event. There's no way they're putting Jey Uso and Gunther on top. I mean, that if it
If they put Logan Paul in any one of those main events, I literally will boycott.
uh,
I don't know if you know anything, AJ, but I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. So yeah, I don't want to hear about it. He is not, I don't take him seriously. He's just a modern wrestler who woke up one day and said, oh, I did this YouTube thing. I think I'm gonna go into
uh,
wrestling. Well, fuck it. I can do that.
Patrick
All right. I can do that.
Patrick, get ready for 40 super kicks and an Uso splash at WrestleMania. Yeah, if he works with the wrong opponent, they will let him do that. Like his brother did last year. I mean, it was god awful that match. I mean, the infamous Samoan family shows its influence once again.
Influence again.
Mhm,
Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, this is Rikishi. So
mhm,
this is Rikishi's
mhm.
son. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve this kind of criticism, but I mean, this is not like, Kurt Hennig winning the Royal Rumble, Hogan winning the Rumble, or, this is someone who we didn't expect. This is like Rey Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble because Eddie Guerrero was his
Yeah,
good friend, and he becomes a champion because Eddie Guerrero is his
yeah,
good
it was
friend.
that type of
So
moment,
yeah.
was like, meaningless. It wasn't meaningless for Ray because he did it for Eddie, so, but ultimately, that was not the main event that night. And I don't think this match should have been either. I think they should have gone off the air with Cody and with Kevin in that brutal match. And then at the end of the night, you have Jey Uso backstage, kind of like, do I cash in on Cody or do I cash in on Gunther? Then Gunther comes up from behind, is like, hey man, don't cash in on me because the same thing what happened last week will happen to you at WrestleMania. And
But he's not in Cody's
no, I know,
level. So I
no,
mean,
I
I
know,
just don't
but I'm just saying
foresee.
you tease that
Yeah.
possibility, and then you have Gunther come up behind him is like, hey, if you cash in on me, then I will beat you worse than I beat you last week or whatever. Cut a promo.
Last
Yeah,
time, and I won't
yeah, and
hold
then
back this
they had the
time.
stare down, and that's how you go off the air. I think we allowed and Cody on on the television in the background with the belts, celebrating. So that
Right.
been the better way to go off the air, I think. If actually,
So who goes after? Oh, well, Cena goes
I
after
would
Cody,
assume so. At
right?
this point, I
John
would assume
Cena.
so because they're
Yeah.
kind of teasing CM Punk going after either Seth or Roman or both in some sort of match. So, and that'll probably be the main event of night one, maybe even night two if it's hot enough, because it's Roman Reigns, and Cody is the top guy right now, but Roman Reigns is like,
But they also, if you saw that, they also teased something with Braun Breaker and Reigns.
Yeah, they teased that too. Yeah, with the
What?
spear and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I love Braun Breaker. I want to see him like really succeed. And yeah, I know he's paying his dues. That's what you got to do in the wrestling business. Something Logan Paul needs to learn. So, again, you pay your dues when you come in the business, and because Braun Breaker second generation, I'm not tooting his horn because he's second generation, because I love Kurt Hennig, who was second generation, guys. That's why Kurt Hennig is so well known, because he surpassed his father. I think Braun Breaker is going to do that, because I didn't like Rick Steiner. I didn't like Scott Steiner, for fuck's sake. But I mean, when you get into the wrestling business, you can't just go to the top. Logan Paul has not paid his dues. Okay. Maybe in 15 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, when he's paid his dues, yeah, Logan Paul deserves it. Otherwise, go back to YouTube and stay there.
I still can't believe.
You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that Logan Paul deserved to go to WrestleMania. He doesn't even deserve to be in that wrestling ring, period.
Yeah, it's like, I still can't believe the guy with the worst spear in WWE history has won. Yeah, Jey Uso's spear is awful, by the way. Have you seen his spear? It's just awful.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Braun Breaker's spear. I like
yeah.
Roman Reigns' spear, for heaven's
It's
sake.
just awful. Like Jey Uso, like when he was feuding with Roman Reigns, he kind of stole his finish and been using it ever since, pretty much. But yeah, that's not good. I'm not a Jey Uso fan, but we just had Gunther and Jay Saturday night's main event for the championship last week, and now they're gonna repeat it at WrestleMania most likely. They're going, which is a match
Right.
they already had, and unless Jey Uso is gonna win this match, there's really no reason to have this match again. Unless Jay's gonna win the belt, it's like, oh great, so he's the world heavyweight champion.
But why? Why would you put the belt on Jay?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
It's like putting the belt on Damian Priest. And Damian Priest botched his first title defense
Yeah, I mean,
by not kicking out. Remember
yeah,
that?
we reviewed it.
He forgot to kick out. He's like, well, that was a personal decision. I'm like, no, that was a fucking botch.
Yeah, man, it was not good, and at least Jay and Damian Priest is like better than Jey Uso in the ring. So if they wanted a swerve pick, I think Styles or Knight would have been better. Knight is still pretty hot with the crowd too, like Jay. So either AJ Styles or LA Knight should have won, according to this person. AJ Styles just
I don't really like LA Knight.
AJ Styles just came back, and it really, what are you going? He's not going to beat Roman Reigns. You're not going to beat Cody Rhodes or Gunther. So, and LA
No.
Knight is,
And he's been
yeah,
in it for years.
and
He's been in it for a lot of years, and he's been
he's been
champion,
WWE
hasn't
champion
he?
quite a few times. So he's been
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
And LA Knight, he's like kind of like a Jey Uso again. He's over as a personality, but his ring work is
I mean, I can
kind
just
of
go,
questionable.
yeah.
And to put him on top with, I think he would have a better match with Gunther because he's his size, he's bigger. They probably have a better match, but ultimately I wouldn't put a world title on LA Knight either at this point. So this person says this WrestleMania entrance will be more entertaining than the actual match itself. I swear the most stacked Rumble, and WWE somehow managed to ruin it.
I mean, I
Mhm.
agree, because I just not for Jey Uso. That's why we were both really shocked, and we're like, "You're like, I'm so stunned
I
right now."
didn't.
I'm like, I'll give you like 5
I didn't have
minutes.
much
It's
of a
okay.
reaction.
Take some water.
Triple H killed the Rumble just like he's killed the Money in the Bank. Again, I criticized this too about Triple H. His booking of the Money in the Bank winners have not been good since he took over. I mean, look what he did. He ruined Austin Theory to the point where he's just stuck in a middling tag team with Grayson Waller, which people forgot even he had the briefcase at one point. And then who had it? Damian Priest. He did nothing with him for months. And we
Yeah.
forgot about him having the briefcase. Then he cashed in at WrestleMania, which was a nice moment. But
On Drew
yeah,
McIntyre, and that's how he got the belt. And then his first title defense, literally, he
uh-huh.
botched the one,
Yeah,
two, three.
he didn't kick out. So let's see. And then Tiffany Stratton this year. I mean, for months she didn't
Yeah.
cash in.
Everyone forgot she had it, but
Yeah,
they've been teasing it for months and
which I
months and months that
get,
she's gonna cash in.
I mean, sometimes you want to extend it, but to the point where you forget this woman has it, or is like, oh my god, just cash in already. I'm sick of this.
Just cash in already. Yeah, we're
So
tired of seeing you.
Hmm.
And that's why I think like, and then not only that, but they ruined Nia Jax and Tiffy, and she went all over to Rhea and was like, "Well, I'm going to take your belt if I can't have Tiffy's belt. I'm going to what? Just go back after Tiffy. You were supposed to be good friends with her. She turned on you. She
that's
cashed
been
in on
dropped
you.
basically because she moved to Raw now and Tiffy's on SmackDown. And I guess Charlotte's going after Tiffy now, so that's been dropped pretty much, and
Yeah,
she's probably been.
it's pretty much been dropped." And I'm like, "Don't
Uh,
drop it."
so
But all right, if they had a plan for Charlotte
the
Flair,
dislikes. When you have 3 basic moves, raise your hands up, your 40s, and your family connections got you to the top position. RVD's Frog Splash is better, and he's nearly 60.
I would know. Is he still wrestling?
Occasionally, I've seen him.
I did see him there. He was there. He's like RV. I'm like, is that his
Yeah,
wife next to
that's
him
his
or his
wife.
daughter? Oh,
Yeah, I
that's his
think
wife. Okay, because she looks young
his
enough to
first
be
wife,
his
I think,
daughter.
passed away of cancer, so he remarried. But
Oh well, I'm sorry about that, but your new wife looks like
yeah.
she's your daughter.
And RVD recently wrestled on an episode of Collision or Dynamite for AEW. So he.
Oh, you gotta be
Oh no,
fucking
Tony
shitting me.
Khan loves
Of course he
RVD. He
did.
loves ECW. He's a mark for it. So if RVD wants to do a match, oh, of course I'll give you all the money you want. Just do a match, please. And RVD is
And kill your body for it,
no,
you
RVD
know.
is not a. Well, I mean, I'm about to say was not a mark, but he was back in the day. He would destroy his body for Paul Heyman, but not for Tony Khan. I'm sure. I mean, he's like, I'll take this guy money
No.
and just give him a shitty match and then go back to WWE. You know. Hmm.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Let's
good.
see. Any other interesting comments here? Nothing against Jay, but a Rumble match full of that much star power and great storylines having going in, and Jay winning it feels like a letdown. Uh,
It does. It was a big
Yeah,
letdown.
it's good.
And again, we can criticize where it needs to be. So any AEW fans out there who are watching this, again, we criticize WWE when it's needed. I give this men's match
Mm.
2 stars
It was.
because of how it ended. Now it had
Mm-hmm.
star power, it had great storylines. It would have been a 3 or a 3.5 or a 4, but again, guys, sorry,
Yeah.
no.
Mm.
Jay winning just took out all the steam that everybody had. Everyone expected John Cena at least
Yeah,
to win
this is
because it's his,
a
last
great point
year.
here. Just because you're over doesn't mean you're ready.
Ready. That's right.
And Jey
That's
Uso is
right.
not. I mean, and he's 40. He's not going to get any better. This is what he is. He's cooked as he's not cooked, but he's completely cooked. Meaning, you're washed up. Like, I mean, sometimes it's not done. You put it in the oven. You cook it until it's cooked. Like,
You
yeah,
still need you
yeah.
still
But
need
Jey
to cook
Uso's
it a
done.
bit.
This is what he is. He's a 40-year-old wrestler. He's a tag team specialist who they desperately trying to turn to a single star. Because if you see,
Right. Just like they did
yeah,
with
when
Rick Steiner.
yes, that did was I think you mean Scott, right?
No, he was good with Scott. Scott
Yeah,
was a star. And then when they split him up, Rick was just kind of in the
he
background.
was kind of middling, and his career pretty much
Yeah.
ended after that. Yeah,
Pretty much done. That's exactly what they did with Rick Steiner. This is no exception. Just that, I mean, his
mm,
family. Okay, I get it that he's Rikishi's son. He's second generation. So is Jimmy Uso. But I mean, this is
and
you
then
feel like you're let down. Yeah,
Michael Cole's
basically.
line was just after he won was just like so cringe, and you can tell like it was written for him by either Triple H or somebody in that writing department. Like his nickname is Main Event Jey Uso, so it's like his moniker is no longer just a nickname. He is truly the main event. I'm like,
Well, and I mean to go after
that's not really the
Gunther.
main event,
I
though.
mean, because again, he's not in any way ready for Cody
No,
Rhodes, because Cody is exceptional and has been carrying the company on his back for the past year.
no,
So I think that even if he went, I mean, and Gunther is going to be pissed. Gunther is going to be pissed if he doesn't have some kind of main event on
his
WrestleMania.
world title run has been lackluster, and again, that's not really on him. That's on creative for not giving him good baby faces to face. The only one has been Jey Uso.
Right.
He's the only one that's remotely over, but he's not good in the ring. So it's like, what is he supposed to do? You
Right.
know, so it's
His wrestling
yeah.
leaves a lot
So
to be desired, and he's second generation.
mhm,
The second generation guys should be well schooled. I don't know if they just didn't go to school or what, but I mean, you're letting all the second generation
yeah,
guys
it's
down.
like
I mean, they're supposed to know
I
what they're
like this.
doing.
This is literally Vince Russo booking to try swerve the fans. That's what he said here. It's exactly what it comes across as, like Vince Russo style booking.
Is he even still in the? I
He
mean, I
he
know
does
he what doesn't he
he has a
review stuff?
podcast where basically he does what we all do here, review pay-per-views and stuff. That's what he does now.
Okay,
So,
yeah, but he gets paid millions of dollars
yeah,
for it, and we don't.
because he's a name in the business 25 years ago. That's why he was a name
Yeah, and he
at
booked
one
one
point.
thing, one time, and now he thinks he's the biggest, best thing that's ever
Yeah.
come down the
Such a
pike.
terrible decision for the story.
Uh
So many cool matches could have happened, and now we have Gunther versus Jay again, where he will finally win. That's the story they're going with. It's a terrible decision.
and again, no one's saying, "Oh, it's going to be Jay versus, Cody Rhodes." Again, cuz everyone can see that he's not ready for that.
No.
Everyone can see that.
And the press conference, they did a press conference, and my mother had it in the background while I was, cleaning up and about to, turn in for the night.
You were
Eh,
picking your mouth up off
and
the floor.
Jay Uso said something. Oh, what said something to the effect. I'd like another crack at Gunther. I'm friends with Cody. We're cool. So I'd like another crack at Gunther, though. So basically implying that he's going to choose
Of
Gunther. So
course.
it's like there's no way that Triple H is crazy enough to put him in the ring with Cody Rhodes on top at WrestleMania and to see how that works out. It's not good. So most likely his match with Gunther will be in the mid card of night one. Something we just got to put up with.
Gunther's going to hate that. Because Gunther is like that old school
Mm,
kind of
mm.
wrestler who wants to be in part of that main event.
Yeah, but and then when WWE is like, oh, why isn't Jey Uso on last? Oh, we had such a big card, so many good matches that every match is the main event. Some bullshit like that. They've done this before, where Edge opened the WrestleMania one year when he won the Royal Rumble, so he's supposed to go on last. Which just stop doing that. Say this: whoever wins the Royal Rumble gets a guaranteed world title shot against the champion of their choosing. Don't say main event because or else fans don't expect you to go on last. Just say,
Yeah.
look, who wins the Royal Rumble gets a guaranteed title match against the champion of their choosing. That's it. Don't say main event. That way you could book the card however you want and not have to worry about, well,
Right.
we didn't say main event. We said you get a world title shot.
When I agree with this, you can't have a mid card dancer
Uh-huh.
the Rumble with I guessing that's win the
Yeah.
Rumble while you have Cena and Punk in the same match. I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, Punk really has grown on me.
Yeah, I mean, CM Punk has been fantastic for years. Punk and Drew arguably had the feud of the year in 24. CM Punk deserves a main event in WrestleMania
Yeah.
while you can still put on classic matches. Drew even getting eliminated that early, being the best heel in the company, while Logan Paul's in the final three was a joke. Happy Jay got his flowers, but it seemed out of
See?
place for a Gunther rematch. It just happened last week in a WrestleMania main event, while other stories seem to be getting fans eager. So yeah, nobody's looking forward to the match between Gunther and Jey Uso, but Logan Paul being the final three, it seems like they're priming him for.
That was a joke.
I
That was a
I hope
joke in itself because you have a
yeah,
non-wrestler
I
with
hope
two
I'm wrong, but
wrestlers.
it seems like they're priming Logan Paul for a world title run this year.
Oh God, I hope
Yeah,
not.
because
Please, Goddess,
because
no.
apparently he's been running his mouth on Twitter talking about how he's gonna make more appearances this year. He's gonna be more full time. So he may be angling.
Just
He may be
stay on
angling
YouTube. Stay on YouTube,
angling for a
Logan
world
Paul.
title at some point because he already had
You don't see me like, we're on YouTube all the time. I'm on YouTube and I got over 100,000 subscribers for my one show. That doesn't mean I'm going to go in tomorrow and challenge fucking Charlotte Flair for her women's title. Just stay off of wrestling,
hey
Logan
CB
Paul. Nobody wants to fucking see you. They even fucking boo you so you won't even
hey
talk.
CBC
I rest my case.
Rocco Cena wins the title in his last match and we crown a new champions at next year's Rumble in Saudi. So Cena
Um,
Cena
I don't
keeps the belt for the
know.
entire year and
Maybe,
then just retires with it as
maybe.
champion. I don't think they'll do that. Maybe I'm not saying he wouldn't beat Cody, but yeah, I'm not saying it's possible he just beats Cody and becomes champion and ends Cody's year-long title run.
For like a few, yeah, like a few months till like SummerSlam or something. I don't see Cena being a champion. Maybe just to get
Yeah.
the 17th, right? So he wants to be
Yeah.
17th champion. Okay, great. So if you keep
I
that for
have
a few months and then at another pay-per-view he drops
I
it
have
back to
no
Cody.
problem with Cena passing Ric Flair. I mean, I don't like Ric Flair anyway, so it's like, oh great, Rick
I don't like Ric Flair
Cena's being
either.
Cena gets his 17th world title run. Great. Hell, he deserves that. He's a
There you
he's
go.
no Cena's never been, or at least as far as I know, never been. He's not Hogan. He always puts people over.
Right.
Hell, even Cena's like, I
Right.
have not won a
He just
yeah.
did it last night
Yeah,
with Jey
he didn't
Uso.
have to do that. If he
Excuse
insisted,
me.
if he told Triple H, "I want to win this Royal Rumble," Triple H would be like, "Okay, you'll win it." And Jey Uso been shit out of luck basically. No matter how pissed off his dad would have gotten, because Rikishi constantly complains about Jey Uso's booking on his show. He has a podcast too now, so he's like, "You got to use
Oh
my son
geez.
better. Look how over my son is, man. Look, everybody's eating to him.
He's over, that doesn't mean he can wrestle Rikishi. You should have sent him to wrestling school so that he could learn this stuff and then put him in like, what they don't have the territories anymore, but you could have put him in like OVW, or you could have put him in some kind of like indie where he could pay his dues and learn how to wrestle. And then when he got to
yeah,
WWE like Kurt Hennig did, again, Kurt didn't start in WWE when he
yeah,
first started. In 79, he actually started in the WWF. And eventually he learned, oh, I don't like it here, so I'm going to go over to Portland. So in 82, he was in Portland for 4 years, and then he went to AWA, but he climbed the ranks. He didn't just show up and they made him champion. It doesn't work like that,
yeah.
guys. Again, you even as the second generation, yes, I understand that Jay and Jimmy Uso are second generation. Again, that doesn't mean they just wake up and know how to
I like
wrestle.
hold on. Indy, hey Indy, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Indy.
By the way, How Do We Miss That is on 10 o'clock tonight at the INN YouTube channel. So check that out with Indy and Reef. Stay tuned for that. Oh, Rocco says no, he wins it in December and then it's vacated and a Rumble winner is champion. That's his
Oh,
thought
yeah.
process.
I don't know, Rocco, how long he's going to be staying in it. But I wouldn't mind. So this is what happened, Rocco. I wouldn't mind if Cena wins over Cody at WrestleMania 41 and then, drops it back to him by, I don't know, King of the Ring or something
SummerSlam,
or
yeah.
whatever. But I can see that happening just so Cena can say, well, I beat Ric
Mm-hmm.
Flair and I was a 17th time champion. Um, that's fine, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Cena's ever going to get the belt
Yeah.
back. But I mean, at this point, Cody Rhodes has proven that he is a good. I mean, if Jey Uso wants to be as good as Cody Rhodes, that's where that's like the coup
Mm-hmm.
de grace right now because uh Cody has paid his dues. He does know how to wrestle. He wrestles like his dad. He has that charisma. He can talk you into the building. I said to my fiance, I said to him, I said, he looks like
Mm-hmm.
Dusty. And you might as well have
Yeah.
Dusty in that ring again. I mean, because Dusty knew how to talk you into the building, even though, I mean, Cody has the
Mm-hmm.
physique, not
Yeah.
like his dad, but he has that physique. But there's so much emotion when Cody is
Yeah.
selling. You can tell that Cody, he's got the business. He
Yeah.
knows the business. And that's why he's carried the company as far
Let
as he
me
has.
show this. Scott Steiner sent out a tweet about what Ron Breaker did to that speed moron. Uh, he said, "Can anyone verify this? I show Speed Kid woke up today. Kid got absolutely destroyed by Ron Breaker. That's a hell of a way to learn about the power of a Steiner."
I love you, Scott Snyder, even though I hated you when you were in wrestling. But man, he just keeps like pumping him
uh
out, yo. He was talking about Jesse Ventura. You're gonna know the power of
huh.
the Steiners. I was like,
Can
Jesus.
anybody
But yeah,
like he's
like
like
I mean, he just totally
yeah
pummeled him, and it was so great to see. I love watching Braun Breaker perform
Mhm.
because he's like his dad in that situation, but like his
Uh-huh.
brother or like his uncle, excuse me, like his uncle, he has that charisma. You know, Scott always had that charisma, whereas Rick was kind of more timid and
Yeah.
laid back. But I think that Braun has got the best of two
He
worlds here. And again, he's only 28 years old. So
Yeah.
Braun hasn't really been in the business very long, but he is still was in NXT. Now, if Uso if there was an NXT back when Uso first came in, I'm
Yeah.
talking about Jay. You know, if there was such a thing, then he should have come up through the ranks just like everyone else did. That's how you did it in the territories. That's how you did it in the early WWE. You weren't thrust into the main event
Yeah,
the first time, even if you were second generation.
I mean, the Usos.
Ask Bret Hart. Bret Hart was champion. He was second
Yeah, the
generation.
Usos. They had at the time WWE had Florida Championship Wrestling, which was their developmental territory. And Jim Cornette
Right.
started calling, "Oh, it's like a penal colony," because everybody kept getting arrested because there was no training program, there was nothing. And guys would show up basically once a week to do a show. They had some classes and that's it. Like guys didn't really learn how to work in FCW. So which is why when
And
Mhm,
like I said, I mean,
mm,
even Jim Cornette was kind of like, you know, there was really no wrestling school. Okay, I get that, but there were
mhm,
camps. Vern Gagne had one. That's where
mhm,
Kurt went, and only like 8 guys out of, 200 actually made it through. So you had you had stuff like that. You had camps like, Vern Gagne would do. Now, I don't know if they had camps all over the place, but I mean, there were some promoters that would literally teach you how to take a bump. Bobby Heenan learned on his own. He learned the business by watching. So even if Jay were to watch anybody, watch Bret Hart tapes, watch Kurt Hennig tapes,
yeah,
watch any other second generation you can think of. Greg Valentine
yeah,
was a great wrestler because he was second
yeah,
generation. Ted DiBiase was a second
mhm,
generation. So there's a lot of second generations in there. You can even watch Bob Orton Jr. and
yeah.
Randy Orton. Watch them come up through the ranks and actually be again, Randy Orton just wasn't thrusted because he was third generation, and The Rock, again, third generation, wasn't just thrusted into the main event. The Rock had to establish
Yeah,
himself.
he did. So it's like Vern Gagne also trained Ric Flair. I mean, he found that Ric Flair.
He trained Ric
He came to one
Flair.
of his camps, and I think either it was Greg, his son, or somebody. How Ric Flair actually quit initially, and Vern went to his house like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?" Like, I quit. It's like, no, you don't. Get your ass back out there. And he convinced Flair to do it, and he became the Nature Boy, styling, profiling. Woo! What if he decided not to go after him, Ric Flair? Who knows what he's been doing right now? Not,
Yeah, I mean, there would be no Ric
yeah,
Flair today. There would be no Charlotte
yeah.
Flair. So what my I guess my thing is, guys, there's always people out there that will show Jey Uso how to perform and how to properly wrestle and do the holds. The problem is that's very laxated today because I don't know if guys even go to school anymore. Do they go to wrestling school anymore, or they just spend all their time in these fucking stupid bullshit
Well,
indie stuff? I don't know because I don't really
if you
follow modern wrestling as
if you
it
sign with
is.
WWE, you go to the Performance Center for at least a couple of years before you even given a shot on NXT.
Right. And now they have that
Yeah, that
Evolve. So like
evolved.
right out of school, then you go to Evolve and then you go to NXT. And again, you go through the ranks. You're not just performing for the top tier people. That's what I'm saying. Like literally that's what happened with Logan Paul. And I hate to think this because again, he's not a wrestler. He doesn't know how to wrestle. His wrestling looks like shit. Even though he's a personality. Well, fuck. I can be a personality too. I can go in there tomorrow and say, I can beat any fucking female wrestler in here. I'll show you how. But that doesn't mean I know how to
Yeah,
wrestle.
so the Undertaker, I was thinking he was trained by, or at least he was allegedly he was trained by Buzz Sawyer, who and
Yes.
he
Triple H
Killer
was
Kowalski. He went to Killer Kowalski. Yeah.
Kowalski, right? Him
Hmm.
and China were taught by Killer Kowalski.
So, in fact, Undertaker, I think he went on Joe Rogan and told the story about I had Bud Sawyer wanted $2,000 in 1986. That's a lot of money back in those days, and he had
That's the year
yeah,
we were born.
and he talked about he had to take out a loan. His brother had to help him get a loan. He sold everything he owned just to pay Bud Sawyer this $2,000. Eventually, they did the whole weeding.
To
Yeah,
teach
they
him
did
how
the
to
whole
wrestle.
weeding out process where Vern did it too, where they had to
Yeah.
exercise and do all the over the top things, and it eventually drove everybody away to the point where he was by himself. He went to his house one day and it's like he moved, and he's like, "Oh, he went to a different territory." It's like, what? He just left him. He didn't even finish training him.
Oh.
So under
Well,
that's
I
the story
mean,
he told. It's
I
like,
well, the
yep.
Nasty Boys, they were trained by Vern Gagne,
Hmm.
and same thing. Vern's like, "Why don't you just give up?" Because they had a lot of bodybuilders that, "Oh, I can wrestle, I can do this,"
Mhm.
and they couldn't stand one day, and they left. The Nasty Boys said they had muscles they didn't even know
Yeah.
hurt. But they just kept coming back and coming back, and someone asked Sags, I guess, why did you guys just quit? Why didn't you just quit? He's like, because we were broke and we were living with Brad
Well,
Reagan's. They were living in the basement for Brad Reagan's.
uh-huh.
They had nowhere else to go. I mean, these guys had nowhere else to go. They were broke, but that's called paying your dues. Just because you have a famous father, as everyone knows, Kurt and Brett, just all the second generation guys, just because you have a famous father does not mean you know how to wrestle. Logan Paul doesn't even have a famous father.
Hmm.
But Jay Uso does. Jay Uso does, and Jimmy Uso does. But I mean, again, doesn't mean you know how to wrestle, even if you've been in the business for X amount of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. At the time, though, by the time the Vince McMahon took over WWF, he was using all these bodybuilders. Hogan came in and
Right.
Luger. I mean, that's
Luger.
why a lot of these bodybuilders went to other wrestling territories. Like, hey, if Vince will use it, maybe they'll use me. And it's like, oh shit, never mind. I
Yep.
mean, Vern is like, they'll just drive us away because we don't actually want to put in the work. We just,
Well, Hogan was in a band. Isn't
well,
that what
yeah,
they
he
said?
was in
Hogan was in a
a,
band before someone picked him
yeah, he
up
was
for
in a
wrestling?
band. Yeah, so
That's what I was thinking about Jesse Ventura. Jesse is like Dusty. Could definitely talk into the building, although Dusty, I think, had an edge on Jesse that maybe Jesse's wrestling wasn't so good. I've heard other people say that, but at least Jesse and Dusty could talk you into the building at
that's who it
least.
is. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
could talk you in even if they had really shitty matches, but I mean, that's what you came to see. You wanted to see Jesse get his comeuppance.
Yeah, so
Nobody wants to watch Logan Paul. Okay, they won't even let the dude talk.
yeah, so I was
I rest my case.
I was I was thinking of this the other day, but like Bret Hart was such a good worker. Even have you I
Yep.
assumed you've heard of Tom McGee, right?
Yes. Tom McGee was one of
Yeah.
those other ones
He
that, he was a
uh-huh.
bodybuilder. He thought Tom Zank
Yeah.
was another
Tom
one.
Vince they saw Tom McGee at like a bodybuilding event like in 85. Or Vince
Yep.
saw him and he's like, "Oh my god, he could be my next Hulk Hogan because he's already looking to replace Hogan. Like
Right.
maybe in a few years if he trained well, he could be my next guy for the next
Yep.
10 years." So they hired him, they trained him a bit. He had a match with Bret Hart, a dark match in 85. He was like, "Oh my god, this guy can fucking go. Look at him." They put him in the ring.
That
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
because of Bret
They put him in
Hart.
the ring with I forget who. It might have been some other guy. Yeah,
Someone else, yeah, and he
and he was
just was
like,
the shits.
"Oh, he can't go. Oh shit."
Oh shit. He
Uh,
can't go.
so,
Oh shit, that was
yeah,
Bret
it's
Hart that
like
made him look good.
this is years before Bret Hart even get a world title run. Like in '92, it was like '85. He's still a tag team guy.
Yeah. This is like
He's still a
85,
tag team
yeah.
guy. He's still doing the Heart Foundation with Neidhart at that point.
Jim Neidhart,
And
yeah.
it's like And I think somebody said it best. WWE thought they were looking at their next WWE champion, and in fact, they were. It wasn't Tom McGee; it was Bret Hart.
And I
Yeah,
said this on they were talking about like, famous people and famous fathers and stuff. And it was
mhm,
Lanny. They had an interview with Lanny Poffo, and someone had said, the only reason why Lanny got anywhere is because of Randy or because of
mhm.
Angelo. Okay, yeah, that's true, but I think that, Randy Savage surpassed Angelo. And I don't think Lanny was given that chance. I don't think
Yeah,
he was given that chance to, prove that he was as good as Randy. And then someone had made the comment that, oh, Rick Rude, the only reason why Rick Rude made it in the business is because of Kurt. I went, I don't think so. No. Rick Rude had all that talent. You could not put a candle to Rick Rude's talent. And you can't say that it was because of
Rick
Kurt.
Rude.
Because they were never even the
Yeah,
same
Rick Rude
territory.
would. He was legit. I mean, people were scared of him.
He has so much charisma and he
People were
could
a lot of
wrestle.
the
That's the
boys were scared
thing.
of him. He's like, I don't want to fuck with Rick Rude.
I bet, yeah, I mean, because he was a legit, he made it as an arm wrestler, and I mean, he was he
Uh,
liked to fight, in real life. But like, you can't compare the two. First of all, Rick Rude was not related to Kurt in any way. I mean, they acted like brothers, but they were best friends. But no, Rick Rude made it on his talent alone. And I think Kurt surpassed his father by proving that he had the
mhm.
charisma, he had the talent. And everybody knows who Mr. Perfect is. Does anyone, other than wrestling fans who know what the hell we're talking about, does anyone know Larry the Axe Hennig?
Yeah,
No, you know who
yeah.
Mr. Perfect is. Yes. But can you honestly say you know who Larry the Axe Hennig is?
Hmm.
If you didn't know wrestling, like if you were just kind of, oh, you know who Hogan is, you know who Savage is. Oh, I know who Mr. Perfect is.
Yeah.
You know,
So Tom McGree had a fantastic match with Bret Hart, and then he had a match with somebody else, and it was the shits. And it was like Vince, like,
Jim
okay,
Cornette
well,
was talking about this.
we're done with Tom McGee, right? So they sent him to Japan. It's hopefully maybe he gets better one day. He just never did. I mean, he just
No, he was
yeah
sick of wrestling, and he would always get what they called oh shit, not puffed up, but like they literally he'd be
yeah blowed up. He get blowed up.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
blown up. Yeah, they
yeah.
called it blown up. Yeah, and
Hmm.
sorry, Luger was the same way. Luger only made it in WCW because those fans just liked
Yeah.
Luger. But when you put him in the ring with Kurt, they could tell that Luger
Mm.
sucked because he wasn't in Kurt's league, you
I
know.
if I saw
Um,
I looked at Tom McGee as like I would react the same way. It's like, oh my god, this guy.
but he gave him a
Yeah.
good match. Kurt gave him a good match and made him look like $1 million. But
It,
it just and same with Tom Zank. Tom Zank and Rick Martel were a tag team, and then Tom Zank, just didn't want to do it anymore. So he went off and tried to do something in WCW. No one remembers Tom
no.
Zank
Yeah,
because
he
of that.
was. What were they? The Can Man Connection, some shit like that. They were a tag team WWF and Can Man Connection, something.
Um,
Uh,
Something like that. But I mean, Tom Zank couldn't take the little money. He couldn't take the fact that they had to, be on the road so much. So he couldn't take
it
road
was
life.
Vince.
And
And
it just,
he went to
yeah, I
WCW.
mean, Rick Martel, but it was Rick Martel like, dude, don't leave. Don't just leave because I talked you up to Vince and Vince gave you this opportunity because of me. If it wasn't for me, you'd probably still
Hmm.
be doing stuff in
Yeah,
AWA, which I don't even really know what they used him
yeah.
in AWA
He went to
for.
WCW, and he made more money. It was less of a schedule, but ultimately,
But it came down to,
mhm,
he just didn't like the pay and he just didn't like the
uh,
road life. So no one really remembers Tom
no.
Zank.
And yeah, Tom McGee was just it was legendary because everybody fell in love with his look, and he moved around real well. He was agile. He had that muscle. Like, oh my god, he could be better than Hulk. I mean, if enough training gets into him, he had the match with Brett. It was fantastic. Oh my god, yeah, we got our next Hulk Hogan in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, because of
And then
Brett.
once they put him in the ring with somebody else, another dark match is like, oh shit. Yeah, he nowhere near ready for
Yeah,
television.
that was really the
Yeah, so
shits.
they send
That's what Jim
yeah,
Cornette was talking about the other day on his I think it was on the
yeah.
Experience.
Hey
Yeah,
Bruce.
that Tom McGee was such a big
Yeah.
ass failure.
Mhm.
I mean, Hogan ended up being Hogan, but then people were getting tired of Hulkamania by the late 80s and
That's
early
when
90s.
They hired Warrior away from
That's when they hired Warrior,
WCCW, I
but
think.
I
He was
mean,
the Dingo Warrior.
right, he
And
was the Dingo Warrior. Nobody knew what the fuck the hell
and
that
Vince
was.
famously, "What's a Dingo Warrior?" It's like, "Fuck that, you're the ultimate warrior."
Ultimate
And there
Warrior,
and
right.
he
Um,
became
well, and that's the thing, like, Hogan, I guess he was jealous of all these guys trying to take his job. He axed
Mhm.
Kurt's push, Brett's push, everybody's push.
Yeah, the Kurt push was brutal because it's like, dude, you need why not just like we talked about this before, but why not just say, yeah, I work with Kurt. He makes me look like $1,000,000. I'm not
He
putting him
always
over though,
did.
Vince, but yeah, we can have good matches together and stuff. And I'm sure there's no way Vince would have made him put the belt on put the belt on Kurt, but it's like, hey, let him have a run with you. It's like, no, brother, I can't do that. He'll make me.
Well, I would have put the belt on
I know
Kurt.
Vince would.
Our
Oh,
topic,
sorry. Go
Bruce,
ahead.
is we were reviewing the Royal
Yeah, and we
Rumble.
pretty much wrapped that up, and
Yeah, I'm not feeling well, so I gotta get out of here. And
yeah, we could. It's almost
uh,
2 hours anyway, so.
yeah,
But
sorry guys, I did
oh
push
yeah, I
myself
mean,
though, and
shit. I
I
mean,
think
we
we
made it
made
2 hours
it.
nearly, so it's fine. How do we miss that? At 10 o'clock Eastern on INN YouTube channel. Stick around for that at the top of the hour because it's almost basically 9 o'clock right now. So 10 o'clock
Yep,
Eastern. Check out INN News. I'll be around in the chat probably. And Angel in the afternoons every Fridays at 7. We'll be back at a normal time schedule next Saturday for Pro Wrestling Talk, 8 o'clock. And I expect
right.
Alex will be back too. We'll be watching clips again, but I don't.
And I'll be sitting there going,
Yeah,
"What is this?"
yeah.
I just recorded today. I just recorded another episode of Black Magic Talk that will be dropping tomorrow. Of course, I didn't get to record any episodes for Nobody Beats Kurt Hennig, Nobody, but that will be coming back. I just want to show everybody my new edition. I saw this on WWE's
Uh-huh.
website
Uh,
and I said I had to have it. So here it is. It's right there. Um, but I will be recording this week because I am feeling a little better. So look for episode 71 is coming out tonight on Rumble and tomorrow on YouTube. So just check that out. It is him and Rick Martel in 89. And the crowd kind of really gets into it. There's women screaming, Rick Martel, you know, Mr. Perfect. I'm like, hey, hands off Mr. Perfect. So that will be coming out. We'll be watching 3 matches. Just some people who were associated with Kurt. I think there's one from Carrie or um,
uh,
somebody. I don't remember the 3 matches, but it's anybody I can find on that history of the pro wrestling
yeah,
around the world. Follow him on X. He does
yeah.
excellent
He's
work.
great.
He just dropped Stan Hansen and Kurt Hennig, so we'll probably be watching that. There was a Rick Rude one there as well. Um, and pretty much any matches that I think are going to be interesting, I kind of drop them on that show now. There's a couple old matches that we can watch, like from the 70s, even some from the 60s, if I
Mhm.
know who they are. There's one from Vern Gagne and someone I can't remember, Luthez, I think. We're going to watch that. That was a good one. Um, and again, it's people that had something to do with Kurt Hennig. Um, so if you are interested,
Mhm.
the links are in the description field. You can just check it out. 71 is coming out tomorrow for YouTube and tonight for Rumble. And then again, we'll be here next Saturday for
Yep.
Pro Wrestling Talk.
Oh, and by the way, starting next week, I'll be streaming this show on only INND Ocho YouTube channel. We're not streaming to the main channel anymore. This is the last week I'm doing it because I just want to let people know that. So who usually would watch it there, just subscribe to Ian and the Ocho. The links are down there to just make sure you do that because we'll be going just to my channel and to that channel. So yep, Angel in the afternoons every Friday at 7. We'll be back on Saturday, next Saturday, finally, because this kind of messes up my thing and like I'm used to doing certain days and it's like I'm off now, so but it's fine, For WrestleMania, we'll have to sit down and figure out when we're going to review it because we can't do it on that weekend because, like we talked about, it's 2 nights. So we'll just have
Yeah.
to figure something out. Maybe we'll have to come back and review the whole thing the next Saturday, which means we can't
Yeah.
do clips at all, which I'm going to tell Alex about. So like, all right, so
Yeah.
we're gonna let you guys go. Make sure you check out How Do We Miss That at 10 o'clock on the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this Sunday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Have a nice week because today we're heading into a new week. And